Hey Sagittarius, welcome to my channel. This is Lotus Magic. Um, this morning I am bringing you your May 2019 Oracle Guidance message. And I have to say, Sag, this message must have been in some way kind of urgent to get out because I woke up, it's like 5 o'clock where I'm at. And I woke up with um, it kind of started last night. Um, Blessings, like the thought of blessings came to my mind, and um, I started thinking about like what blessings really are. And I often find that sometimes things that come to my mind, um, and the urgency to get messages out, um, are definitely related to each other. So I feel like it's almost like spirit was preparing me for your reading, um, with bringing thoughts into downloading thoughts into my mind. And so I started looking up, you know, what are blessings? What are the measure of blessings? And is money the measure of how blessed you are? Like, what measures how blessed you are? And so the song that came to my head was Trap Niggas by Future. And if you listen to hip hop, then you know that song where he's talking about God's blessing all the traps. So I went from that to that because then it led me to think that, well, if money is a measure of how blessed someone is, are drug dealers blessed? Are murderers who have a lot of money blessed? You know, money can't be the measure of the blessings. It's basically what I can't came to. Um, Money is the um, measure of your ability to manifest, because I think that people who attract a lot of money have better relationships in their mind with money, and they attract it. So it's a measure of their manifestation in terms of a sense, because um, we know that a drug dealer is in God's eyes, society's eyes, common sense. You're not doing anything good when you're serving someone drugs and killing and molesting children, prostitution. We know that those things aren't good acts of humanity. So perhaps the reason why a drug dealer can become rich is because they just have an ability to manifest money, you know? So we can't say that money is a measure of how blessed we are. So that led me, as I was laying here sleeping, um, I started. It's like it came back to my mind, and I was just looking, looking around, online, like how does society or those that are a little bit more spiritually advanced view blessings? And so one thing I came across um, was that feeling blessed has a lot to do with our attitude and our ability to be content and satisfied. Now, which ultimately breaks down to gratitude. So ultimately, how blessed you are has a lot to do with how grateful you are for what you have. And let me be clear, being grateful for what you have is not a cop out for not striving for more. But it's definitely a sense of being happy with what you have now while doing so. Um, Striving for more from a place of gratitude than a place of discontentment and dissatisfaction, if that makes sense. And I'm telling you this because your reading really is all about that. You're needing to move from a place of discontent, um, dissatisfaction, to a place of gratitude to get to the next level. Okay, so um, understand that your present is constantly creating your future. So you have to master the now before you really can open up the doors and the opportunities for the future. And I always tell people this, and I had to learn this too on my spiritual journey. When I would call, um, sometimes we reach out to a medium or a reader to find out what's going to happen in the future, right? Am I going to get the love? Am I going to get the money? Am I going to get that? And a reader can tell you, hey, you have this opportunity. You're going to meet this person. You're going to be rich. You're going to be there. They can tell you all that. The problem is, sometimes we fail to realize that it is our energy now that's going to create those opportunities. Okay, so regardless of what someone's telling you about your future, what you're doing right now has to be in alignment to pave the way. So I always try to tell people when they sit down at my table, like, if anything about your future comes up, good. But I focus on where you are now, because where you are now is going to determine where you're going to go. And I had to learn that too on my own. You know, I've had many readings where it's like, okay, I see this for your future. I see this, I see this, I see this, but it wasn't really manifesting in the time frame or in the way. I had to come to a point where it's like, it's me, it's my energy now. And I'm blocking these outcomes because I'm not, my energy now isn't in alignment. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started into the reading because I already took up almost 8 minutes just telling that. But I just felt like all of that I was leading up to in my thoughts was definitely after I got your message from Spirit, was definitely connected. And it was not just for you, for me too, having to understand, because money is important to me. And um, I'm a life path 8, so when money isn't, when I don't feel like my money is right, I can sometimes feel like I'm not blessed. And so even on my own journey, I'm having to learn what what blessings really are, so that I can get to that place of pure gratitude, contentment, and satisfaction, and level up from that point, and not trying to level up from a place of dissatisfaction. Okay? So your oracle guidance message comes from the Angel of Emergence. It is time for the real you to emerge. So many of you guys, you're trying to transform your life. You're trying to allow the real you to emerge, but that's not what you're putting out to your environment right now. All right. So for maybe, and I'm kind of reading from the book because it's just what I was urged to do, like, which is unusual for a lot of these cards. But there's some specific things in the book that need to be brought to your attention. And this stood out to me. So it says, for far too long now you have felt second best and remained in the background. It is now time for the real you, the beautiful, talented, and wonderful you, to emerge. The emergence of your true nature, which until now you have denied to most of those around you, and often also denied to yourself. So that part was really important to me, because just with the rest of this reading, I feel like this reading really pertains to your home, your family, and what you've been giving them. And it's possible that because you're in an energy of discontentment and dissatisfaction, you're not really in a place of love as it pertains to those around you right now. Um, so you're not giving your best self to your family right now. And it's really time for you to transform that energy, because butterflies are transformation. It's really time for you to transform that energy and get back to a place of giving yourself, in your true nature, not in what you are right now, not from this dissatisfied um, energy that you're in right now, because you have so much to offer. And true change is going to start with yourself. Okay, if you're not liking some things in your dynamics right now, then understand that you're going to need to start with yourself. So, and then the energy around you will definitely you will see a change in the energy around you. All right, where you need to focus your energy. Um, Here we have intuition. Okay, now the intuition card tends to be really self-explanatory. Definitely taking some time to tap into yourself, go within, not allowing um, your mind and decisions to be influenced by others. It's time to put your intuition over logic right now. If you're trying to make decisions on how to change things in your life, don't do it the logical way. Go with your intuition. Rely and trust on the wisdom that's within you, okay, and not on the logic. Okay, logic tends to be what the mind can rationalize and not your higher self. Okay, so you're being encouraged to spend quality time alone to get to make this connection to your intuition, getting out in nature, outdoors, and connecting with the divine. Prayer, meditation, listening to good music, mindful breathing, and things like that. Like, you're going to really need to relax and take some time to yourself, so that you can go within. And that's when you're going to be guided to, um, that's when you're going to start to notice the synchronicities and the signs and get the inner guidance you need to make the right decisions. It's also going to help balance your emotions as well. Okay, because this is a sacral chakra energy, and our sacral chakra governs our one-to-one, one-on-one relationships um, with our partners and our ability to connect emotionally with others. And so right now I feel like this dissatisfaction and this lack of contentment that you're in is really affecting your emotions, but it's also affecting the relationships to those close to you, your spouse, your children, just friendships. It's really affecting that. So you really need to get um, some sort of mindful practice, exercise, relaxation, so that you can balance your emotions. Okay. And it's the effort card came up, so this is like putting a strong urgency on it. You really need to make the effort to do these things so that you can change the emotional states in the relationships. Um, it's you also need overcome to overcome your challenges. Your attitude is key, so you need to make the effort to change your attitude, getting out of any attitudes of self-pity, laziness, negativity, frustration, and you're going to have to use your inner power, which is your solar plexus, to help get you through the tough times, okay? So negativity isn't going to work, and I just feel like right now many Sagittarius are in kind of a negative space. But I think it's also coming from focusing on the lack, focusing on where you're not in life, focusing on what you don't have. Um, and I don't think this really has a whole lot to do with money, but it definitely has a lot to do with appreciation of life in general and what you have around you, and that could include money. But because I feel like there's a lot of um, dissatisfaction within the home, I feel like you're not being grateful for, you know, having a family, having a partner, having, a roof over your head, even if it's not the roof you want, even if your family's not in the happiest place that you want. Be still. First, adjust your attitude to gratitude, then try to level up. Okay, you're not going to level up from a dissatisfied, negative place. All right, when you make the effort to do these things, you're going to be able to put yourself in position to start a new cycle. Okay, and in order to begin something new, you have to end something. So you need to put an end to all of this negativity and discontentment so that you can start a new cycle. Okay? Um, if you've had to deal with some pain and some hurt and things like that, it's time for you to reflect on the lessons that you've learned and use that to help you create a new cycle in life. Okay. Um, if it's financial, um, where you're just not financially where you want to be and you're not really able to make, um, more material changes and level up materially, you're going to need to tell yourself that this will pass and remain centered, grounded, and stable in your emotions. So again, the you really need to focus your energy going into this new cycle on emotional stability. Okay, that's really heavy. That sacral chakra we have here. Um, Both of these have the orange star, so that's sacral chakra, and all of this is sacral chakra. So you really need to get that sacral chakra in order along with your solar plexus, and so that you can step into your power. So you need to balance your emotions so that you can step into your full power. And if in this process relationships in your home seem unstable, um, when you start to work with your emotions, you're going to need to go back and make amends with those in your household or whatever relationships are being affected by this. But I feel like it's more or less like your family, like your children's spouse. Um, you're going to need to go back and have those conversations of accountability to make amends with some of the hurt that you may have caused with all this discontentment. Okay? So your chakra wisdom message comes from the vanity. Okay, comes from vanity. And the vanity card tells the story of Crystal, Peter, and Mike, who are at a party in Mike's really nice home, toasting success in their business. A mysterious old man appears and asks them whether they prefer gluttony or generosity. Puzzled, none of them answers. He reminds them that more does not mean better, and they laugh. Suddenly they are alone, far from the party, in rising water. "We're getting more," cries Peter. Rain falls and water rises faster. "Play," shouts Crystal. "We must do well with what we have." As they begin to have fun in the water, the rain stops. So, again, this is really like telling the story of one who learns to be content with what they have and enjoy it, in order for the challenges and obstacles to stop. So as soon as they became content and just enjoyed the moment, the rain stopped. We all say we all say we will stop when we have enough, but there's never enough. You may be looking outside yourself for validation. Ask yourself, am I feeling disconnected from any people in my life? Am I growing away from limiting relationships? Faith, awareness, and transformation, environmental tension, living in illusion, self-doubt, power to change, lesser companions, and empty conversations. So again, this is a lot of focus on the lack and not the abundance. Okay, if you're discontent in your relationship and your relationships aren't fulfilling, it doesn't, instead of growing, instead of going into the energy of discontentment, which makes you negative, maybe just try to be grateful for having these people in your life, and while continuing to do the work to make the changes necessary to either remove people from your life that don't bring you satisfaction and joy, or until you reach a place where within yourself you have this joy and contentment, and then perhaps the energy around you will start to reflect that as well. All right, what's blocking you, Sag, is the Ten of Coins. So this is why I said I feel like this is family. What's blocking you right now is your inability to see the abundance in your life from the family that you have, from your life in general. Okay, here we have a happy couple. We have a couple, their children, their dog, almost like the American dream. But you don't see it because you're looking at what you're lacking. No relationship is going to be perfect. No relationship between um, a man and his wife, husband, a partnership is going to be perfect. No relationship with your children. You're not going to have the perfect children. There's going to be challenging times. But you have to be grateful that you do have someone and with you to go through these challenging times with, that regardless your family is healthy, you have what you need, and it's time to be grateful and see that so that you can get to a place of gratitude and then try to level up if you're not where you want to be, instead of looking at it from a perspective of lack. Sorry. All right, your crystal guidance message comes from Purple, and it's the Curse Cleanser. So this um, card is asking you to be open to new ways to heal. Check out whether you have inadvertently offended anyone. If so, make reparation where possible. So that's what I was saying earlier. All of this energy that you've been putting out, and you're instead of looking at it how it's how people are making you unsatisfied, understand that you too have been putting out some negativity. Maybe you said some things that have been hurtful, and maybe while venting your frustrations, not to be intentionally cruel, but just while venting your frustrations, you may have said something that inadvertently hurt someone, and you're going to need to, in the process of getting your emotions in check, you're going to need to go back and have those conversations about the things you said and some of the things you did. Take accountability, okay? The past creates the present, but the past can be repaired and the present healed. And in healing, healing your past and your present, while healing and also healing in your present, is really going to help shift the outcomes of your future. And you need to remember that, okay? While you're going through this transformation, it's calling for a lot of healing, which definitely brings up a lot of trying times and challenges and things that we've dealt with. And it can make us frustrated. It can make us dissatisfied. Sometimes when we go back to our past, we start to realize that we could have had a much better future, right? Or a present, I'll say. I could have done this with my life. I could have done that with my life. I should be here. I should be there. But had I not, had I not stayed, had I not had this many children, it's all these things that we start to, that make us become dissatisfied with what we have now, instead of just seeing that your past is not to go back and beat yourself up about. It's really just to heal. To heal whatever caused you to make certain decisions in your life. To heal whatever hurt and pain that was caused, that was put up on you. Things like that. It's really not to go and reevaluate and decide that suddenly our present isn't great because we made some past mistakes. That's not what it's about. It's about reflecting on those so that you can get your energy in check now, and kind of reflect to make sure that you're not still creating opportunities to relive your past based on what you're doing now. So look back at your past as kind of a way to recalibrate, to make sure that you're on the right track now, to not have to ever go back and have those same experiences. But don't let reflecting back on your past create this discontentment because of all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas of your life. Everything happens for a reason. And where you are now, um, what you've been through was necessary to be who you are right now. Now you need to take that and be satisfied for the things that you have, the lessons you've learned, and the abundance in your life, and take that energy and allow that energy to propel your future, not discontentment and dissatisfaction. All right, Sag. Until next time, love and light.